name is Shelly Lesher, and I'm a nuclear physicist. I work on describing the shape and motion of the nucleus using a variety of experimental techniques. So I'm an associate professor of physics at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, and currently I'm on sabbatical in the physics department at Yale University as a presidential visiting fellow. At the American Physical Society, or the APS, I serve as the past chair of the Committee on the International Freedom of Scientists, which we refer to as CIFS, and I've been on that committee for 4 years. So physicists are able to use the skills that they've acquired throughout their research in response to the pandemic. This consortium of physicists around the world are developing a low-cost, reliable, fail-safe, and easily operatable mechanical ventilators system, which can be produced in a large scale with readily available parts. This collaboration was able to move quickly and hopefully begin manufacturing after FDA approval. And this is really a lot of what I've heard physicists doing, and it could just be the area that I'm in, since I'm a nuclear physicist and I work with a lot of laboratory scientists that are in experimental physics. But a lot of universities and lab groups around the world are working on ventilators and ventilation components, hoping to kind of get these simpler models to market quickly. One advantage of these collaborations to the public is that many groups are offering these designs to the public on open platforms. We understand that the government has already made this investment in us through our education, through grants, and we want to use this knowledge and this skill to benefit mankind. This is not the time for us to be patenting our devices. This is the time for us to give this back to the community. A lot of times physicists are really working with our local hospitals and our local communities on what they need. So these low-cost ventilators are something that the world needs, but many times we're working with our local hospitals. So Wright Lab at Yale is working on a team with engineers and doctors at the Yale Hospital to reverse engineer and model parts that they expect to be in short supply in the future for ventilators. So this way that if the manufacturers aren't able to produce the parts that are needed for the ventilators, that we can locally manufacture them and allow them to be available for the local hospital. And I know a lot of universities and a lot of scientists, a lot of physicists are working with their local hospitals on what they need. So that's why perhaps maybe people don't hear about their physicists working kind of on national problems, because they're working with their local hospitals and what they need locally. Physicists are actually experts on modeling and working with very large data sets. And so they have turned these skills into modeling the pandemic. In addition, the national labs have some of the best supercomputers in the world. So they have kind of combined all of these resources into focusing on COVID-19. And these models are actually really better at predicting human behavior in different scenarios. So for example, if you lift stay-at-home orders, or you allow children to go back to school, or you start bringing in external people into your city, these models are much better at predicting those scenarios. But they are the ones that have the unique facilities, the data sets, the supercomputers, and also the knowledge on how to run these facilities. So this allows them to get these models up and running quicker. But I think what both of these examples show is that physicists are able to use existing tools, their knowledge, and really our collaborations and connections around the world to quickly address a common problem. And that's what physicists are really good at. I think, like all scientists, we see that we have a unique skill set, and we are trying to respond in every way that we possibly can. And a lot of physicists, a lot of scientists are putting aside their own personal research. The government has invested these resources in us, and everyone that I know is trying to use their skill set to solve this problem.